and connected with each other. Obviously, you can go on afterwards if you would like, by just exchanging emails or contacts, if you wish. So the collaboration or the network doesn't stop here. But thank you for joining us today. And I know it's going to be a bit awkward because of being virtual, but I hope that we have made it at least engaging for everyone here. So I think if Louisa's here, I would pass it on to Louisa.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for the chance to introduce reuse to everyone. And I hope everyone, all the initiatives had fun and engaging conversations about their own initiatives with everyone that participated in the Green Fair. I would like to thank our sponsors, Cambridge Hub. Please, if you haven't, if you could consider making a donation to Cambridge Hub, which made everything possible. We couldn't have done it without them, but they are a charity in the UK, branched out of Students Hub, a national charity. So if you could please consider making a donation so we can continue to put together these events. I would also like to thank Cambridge Sustainability Team that also supported us, Cambridge Zero and Science Park, Cambridge Science Park for making a donation, a generous donation, which really helped us out. I would just, yes, thank you all. The team, we had an amazing team. Like, this would have not happened if it wasn't for them. So they worked so hard and such commitment. I'm so proud to say I worked with each and every one of you from the committee. Thank you so much. I would like to now, I wonder, because I'm not looking at the chat, I wonder if Dr. Parikh has joined us already?
Yes,
hello. May I ask you if how to pronounce your name correctly? I apologize.
Jyoti Parikh.
Jyoti Parikh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. So Jyoti Parikh makes the Climate 100 list, which is the world's most influential people in climate policy, guys. So this is someone that we really should pay attention to and learn from and be inspired by. I can't say how, I think I can speak for everyone here that we are so honored to have you. Thank you so much. Are you happy with, would you like to test your share your screen? Are you having slide or are you just speaking?
No, I thought first I wouldn't have, but then I thought maybe it's better. So it's both. I'll start with my comments and then go on to the
fantastic. Well,
yeah.
I'll give you Dr. Parikh now, and thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, so well, thank you, Cambridge Climate and Sustainability Forum, CCSF, for inviting me to this wonderful and very creative program, which fielded so many important experts and topics and discussions on climate change, biodiversity, eco-cities, agriculture, and also along with that, you had an action-oriented program, which is also very interesting. You had Green Fair and so on. So I think it was a very comprehensive event, and I hope more of such things take place everywhere. I also appreciate that the opening remark was from someone in Africa continent, and I'm from South Asia, New Delhi, India. It is I can see also many of you are from various regions. So there's a regional diversity, and which is very, very important to talk about climate change and sustainability. And gender, of course, I see many women here. So that's good to see that you have this diversity. So in a concluding session, you discussed so many topics. So I thought that what is left out actually, certainly one day you can't cover so many things. So I thought of two, three things. One is the pandemic and what it teaches you about climate change. What are the things it taught, what it did, which is climate negative, and what is climate positive. Then also sustainable development goals and digital technologies. So I'll try to combine some of these because I feel it's also important for our way forward and how all the sessions held over can fall together in one concluding message. So beginning with pandemic, I think that who would have thought that during lockdown, we will have all people moving with masks and closed offices and industries closed, schools closed. All this we would not have thought of just even a few 1 year ago. So 2 years ago. And so, who would have also thought that air pollution in Delhi during the lockdown or Karachi or Beijing or for that matter, any city will disappear and birds will be back, water, our rivers will look very clean. We can say that there was a few months of lockdown where nature showed its strength and how it is so resilient that even 2 months of respite from human beings and our world, it can bounce back. So that is one positive message. But another one is that another outcome is that we were so shocked and shaken that we are now ready to listen and perhaps change also. And we have seen that we have adapted to many different ways of working. For example, we understand now how fragile and vulnerable our societies are, and we have accepted that we can work from home, we can shop from home. We don't need so many things, and it's not so difficult to actually work without offices and have webinars without aeroplane. I used to fly 10 to 20 times in a year, and I'm sitting now in the comfort of my home. So all these emissions from transport of cars and planes, and so we have saved all that, and we will continue to save. I'm sure that it is not going to go back to our old ways where every day people people do these things now from home. It would be quite acceptable. However, there is one small rider that it is important to have digital connectivity for all. And those who could shop online could ensure their basic needs. But what about those who couldn't? Children who could log on to internet studied, but the others missed entire years of education. Those who had one smartphone had to share, they had to make a choice whether it has to be with the head of the family or a woman of the house or school-going children who need it for education. So it is now the digital connectivity has become very important, and we have digital haves and have-nots. So how we can quickly bridge that gap so that that we can function, even everybody functions, and we could have avoided much of this losses, some of these losses, if we had equity there, as well as capability. It's not easy to transform to new ways. So this is very important. And so those who had, they could do their livelihoods, education, health treatments, and so on. But the others had to suffer loneliness and worried about their families if they were migrant laborers and so on. So I think that that's a very big message from pandemic, as well as connected importance of digital technologies and climate change. So with this combining the three things, I would also like to now, one other thing which is probably we should have discussed is the Sustainable Development Goals. So let me now go back to my PowerPoint, if you can put it, and I will try to explain a few things also about India. Yeah, let me just, next. I'll just, in one slide, I'll just say, we are already working on, in my institute, I'm the Director of Integrated Research and Action for Development, and we work on urban development, energy and power. Asia Center is our key area of work, climate change and environment, agriculture and food security, and poverty alleviation and gender. Next one. Next. So one thing also left out, no, the one before. One thing also left out was the heat stress and adaptation issues. So we talk enough about mitigation, net zero and so on, but also world's poor have to adjust to heat in a very big way. And you can see how much warm it can get. Next one. I'll give you specific cases of 3 cities in India where we did the GIS mapping of certain scenarios. And you can see this pink color is, this is in Delhi, can go up to 48 degrees. So, and 48, and then next one is 46, 48. So you can see the whole thing looks so hot that again, there is a question, concern for poor people, how they can survive. And if we use air conditioners, we also increase climate change. We have middle one also, which has, it's on the near coast. So it's slightly less, but then coastal areas have very humid climate. And so it feels much more than what it shows here. And then we have also another city on the west coast called Rajkot, and that also is very hot. Next. So that's one now. So that this leads to a lot of damages. 70% land under cultivation. So here is the agriculture issue, also drought. 12% of land is subject to floods. 8% of land to cyclones. A major disaster occurs now almost every year. This is somewhat old slide, but 30 million people affected annually, and now much more. Thank you. Next. So you can see we are talking about sustainable cities. This doesn't look like very sustainable. We need to think of ways when this channelization of access water and storm water drainage, and so the entire city, all cities have to be restructured to take care of climate disasters. And we are talking about, whenever we talk about cities, we talk about millions, and that is why we think that it is the cities which need a lot of attention now, and restructuring of what cities. Next. So India's climate disaster, we have a floods, almost $45 billion of 162 occurrences, and leading to $45 billion just from the floods. And then remaining are also from cyclones, storms, droughts, and so on. So, and this is, just in India, and there are many other regions which have similar problems. Next. So now I come to the Sustainable Development Goals. We had uh, thought of this, we've not included in our discussion so far, but the reason why I brought it is that it has a lot of messages for us in dealing with this issue, because I put them into 4 categories. One is the basic needs. So there are 6 SD. I hope you've heard about them. So these are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So food, no hunger means food and nutrition, water, energy. These are basic needs: health, education, and decent work and livelihoods. And that's just the basic need part. But we want to do little more and achieve some prosperity also. And for that, there is one SDG about how to carry out industry and infrastructure, sustainable cities, and of course, production is needed, consumption is needed, but also all of that has climate action itself can lead to some economic activities, because you have renewable energy, and a lot of business now is coming up in that sector. But apart from this, we recognize that this is along with basic needs and economic prosperity, we also want nature, thriving nature. And that is not something that earlier thought of, that life on land, life on water, and acceptable climate is something we need also for our well-being. So these are the climate SDGs which are needed for human well-being, and we have included in our aspirational goals. But then it is not just what we want, but also how we will achieve and in what way. So we have ethical principles. We want to have this in such a way that there is hardly any poverty. We want to achieve it with gender equality. We want to achieve it with partnerships and peace, justice, and institutions. So this is the ethical principles, and altogether this makes it about 17 SDG. They are not exact names, but because I put it this way, some things are a little different. Okay, next. So now this is being the last session, I thought let's look at the alternative futures and how we can bring these things together. Currently, we are going, we look at GDP growth as our main objective. If you look at every day in the newspaper, it's about money and materials and how much steel was produced, and the indexes of the share market index and all that goes up and down using this thing. And so our indicators are saying how many cars were sold this year. Oh, economy is down because we didn't use any fossil fuel. So this is all ingrained in our work. Resource intensive consumption is a part of our development strategy right now. But if you go on to SDG framework, where we say, okay, what our aspiration is to ensure that everybody gets basic needs, everybody, and we do economically prosperous we become, and we also save nature, and all these have to be done with equity and with justice and with concern for nature and others. So next. So how to achieve it? In the GDP case, in the current case, we are only talking about fossil fuels, and one thing is missing here: material intensive technologies, which may be steel, cement, and plastics, and many other things which also cause waste and climate change and so on. Whereas in SDG, we have several ways to do it. First of all, we will try to reduce the demand itself. Then we say, okay, it cannot be reduced any further. Then whatever we do, we need to do with energy efficiency. we also need to we are prepared to do behavioral change. For example, if things can, if webinar can be held, and I don't think even if I had come to UK for this, I would have met so many people there, because there are so many from other continents listening to this. So behavior, that's a behavioral change we have accepted, and this is just a minor part, which of course saves airfares and plane emissions. But reuse and recycle, we should do. And then you have had also a session on circular economy. So this shows a new way or alternative way, alternate future we are talking about, where we GDP focused, from GDP focused approach, we go to SDG focused approach. Next. So as I said, modalities, GDP right now, we have no problem. So no particular rules about if somebody is very poor, well, that's tough luck. We don't have to worry about, we can go with a truck, bag loads of groceries, but we don't need to give to anybody. And we don't, if somebody sits on the pavement, that's okay. No limits to consumption. You can have 50 dresses, 10 cars. I'm not saying you put limits to consumption from government, but from within yourself, if you can think of better ways of enjoying yourself. And none on waste. You can just buy big foods of packages, eat a little bit of it, but the rest gets wasted, throw it away in the garbage. There are no rules on how many garbage pail you can have. Maybe now some cities have started that no more than so much garbage will be taken. The SDG, on the other hand, is making a statement that we cannot have a poverty of certain of abject poverty of the kind we have now. We have to reduce inequity, and gender equality is also a must. So and responsible consumption and production is also an SDG. So we would next. Oh, sorry, the one before. So when you say we have inequity and no limits on waste or fossil fuels, you can buy as much, you can use as much fossil fuel as you like in your car or elsewhere. So we have a climate change issue that has led to also resource depletion. Resource depletion, by that I mean the minerals of all types, which can be steel, cement, coal, oil, gas, etc. And accumulated waste. We have not been content with doing putting waste on land, but now oceans are filled with it. And loss of biodiversity, we hear extinction stories every day. On the other hand, SDG would like to do equitable world, abundant nature, resource conservation, because nature is a part of what we want. It is not just what we want is money, but it is three SDGs are that it's our part of our package of things that we need. Resource conservation, reduced waste, and nurtured biodiversity is an outcome. So we are talking about now outcomes from the other things. So I try to look at next one. So you have two future scenarios: GDP focused future, SDG focused future. And as I said, the entire system, it's not just a few of us can change it. There are journalists who also report on economy, but hardly anybody reports on SDG or how nature is doing, or how on a regular basis. Whereas every day you will find how many cars were sold, how many planes were sold, and so on. You have all that statistics about fossil fuels and their prices and so on, whereas the other issues are not as much brought out so that we track them on a if not daily, weekly basis. Let's start with monthly and then weekly and daily. Why not? So that we can ensure that nobody is poor, nobody is suffering without water, and so on. So I think that we need a fundamental transformative change, and it can be done through renewable technologies, through digital technologies, through just behavioral changes. And people are now, even for climate change, people say, now that means we have to go to renewable energy. But no, just changing from one technology to another, you will make some difference, certainly, because it's renewable, but it would not be enough. And we should not be in the illusion that just by switching from one to another, we will achieve climate goals. There would be behavioral change required. I'm sure I'm very convinced of that. And we would need to work together, and people so enthusiastic as Cambridge Forum would make a big difference. And I hope that you carry such a message forward to others as well. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Parikh. Thank you so much. That was so inspiring. And I think ultimately it truly resonates with what we wanted for this forum, to not just have a ordinary and standard format of the speakers talk and the audience listens, and that's that. We really want to push for change, for collaboration, for working together, for connection, and action, and in all levels of society, the individual, and what you can do in your community, and the community and government in a local, national, and international level. So that really resonates with what we wanted. I don't think we could have ended. I'm so sad it's ending, actually, but we couldn't have ended with a better speaker and a better talk. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, well, thank you. And you also did a wonderful job. And I particularly think that, children, women, senior citizens, private sector, all of them have to be involved in this. And everybody should say, in city planners, how we can reduce, just march towards SDG in every way, and not just think of a small goal of only climate action, but the entire GDP. And you have any questions now, or is it?
I think if we would love to encourage connection and put everyone in touch. And so we are thinking of ideas and ways in which we can put not only all of the speakers in touch and communicate, which we kind of already done so via email, but also perhaps the audience, so we can build collaboration. And maybe we can have someone collaborate with you, who knows, and any of our other speakers. Thank you. Sure. And now I'd just like to finalize the forum, and big thank you to all of the speakers who could make it, for such inspiring talks, for just giving us their best, and such stimulating discussions in all the panels. We have recorded all the panels, so don't despair if you've missed something and you really wanted to watch it. We will have the recording soon for you to enjoy and watch it at your own time. We really want to thank the initiatives that participated during the Green Fair. We were overwhelmed by the number. We were aiming for something, and then we got more than we expected with the speakers too. That was one of the reasons why we had panel discussions running in parallel, because we were so lucky to have many confirmed speakers, and we couldn't say no to anyone because they all enriched the discussion in such way. I would also like to thank Cambridge Hub for supporting this forum. Please consider making a donation to Cambridge Hub, which is a charity in the UK branched out of Students Hub. And they made this possible, not only they made this possible along with Cambridge Zero and our wonderful donator sponsor, Cambridge Science Park, who made a donation that really helped us out as well. So thank you, speakers. Thank you, audience. Thank you for the wonderful questions and stimulating discussions. Thank you, our sponsors, Cambridge Zero, Cambridge Hub, Cambridge Science Park, the sustainability team in the University of Cambridge. Thank you, committee and the team, for working so hard and for your commitment. This wouldn't have happened without you, and I would be happy to work with you again. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you all. And I think there was an idea from someone in the committee that we could potentially, if possible, have a big picture. So we are all in spot, if that's possible. And if you don't feel up to it, then that's fine. That's not a problem. But maybe we could have a picture of all of us to finalize this, the forum. Sure, Christy, you are the genius. You are the Zoom genius over here.
I can take it. So smile, everyone, if you want to. 3, 2, 1. Done. I'll take another one just for luck.
Okay, another one for luck. Cheese.
Cool. Perfect.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you missed out on any of the initiatives, then you can find them all in our website. Oh, sorry. You can find them in our website, and I'm going to leave the link. I'm going to leave the link to you over here in case you missed them and you want to get in touch, collaborate, ask questions. I'm sure they'd be happy to connect with everyone. And enjoy your day wherever you are. We had speakers from North America, from South America, Africa, Europe, India, Saudi Arabia, Japan. So it's really been wonderful to connect with many parts of the world. I know we're sick and tired of the pandemic and being like inside and having to have Zoom meetings, but honestly, this allowed us to truly make this an international forum, and it allows us to connect with so many people from so many different places. So thank you so much.
Okay.
And if you got any questions, shoot us an email. You got our emails. The team is here to help you with anything, any questions, anything you need. And also forgot to say, but there will be a survey after, or not a survey, a feedback form, a feedback form. Anything that you can tell us that could improve for next year, we would be happy to hear your comments, constructive criticisms, what went well, what didn't go so well. So we can always strive to improve and make the best forum that we can do. Oh yes, okay. We can, if you want to stay on, absolutely. I would be happy to, if Dr. Parikh wants to stay on and answer a few questions. There's someone that is interested in asking you a question, Dr. Parikh.
I think one journalist also wants to interview, etc. Okay, yeah, let's see if I could answer some of it.
So they asked, oh, sorry, Manav, go ahead.
I'm sorry, is it my turn or it's my second? Should I go? Okay, thank you, Dr. Parikh. It's such a wonderful opportunity to, I have no words to thank you, for your presentation. That when I heard about, like you are also going to one of the speakers, so I was just say like, I really want to attend this meeting and I want to just have a word with you and ask your opinion. So I recently got opportunity to be reviewer of sixth assessment of the IPCC report, and I used to work in the Green Climate Fund. I now currently doing PhD in circular economy and climate change mitigation from Santana University in Italy. So based on your experience as one of the lead author and also got the appreciation from being the IPCC author, I felt like very disappointed when I was reviewing the IPCC report that circular economy is one of the crucial element to tackle climate change, and there is no portion of circular economy in the IPCC report. Like there are portion on natural based system, there are portions on cities. So in this COP, like which is like going to be one of the remarkable event in the history, how do you like see the pathway forward of the IPCC, UNFCCC, and how, as a young researcher, we can also see a path forward that circular economy can, be in the common domain of like people. Thank you for having this
Yeah,
question.
well, thank you. There are 3 volumes and each volume has many chapters, and usually you interact with your chapter lead. I was also convening lead author once, and that discussed some of these economic options. But that was in IPCC second assessment. But now it is a little bit more into different directions. But I would say that waste recycling would be there, though I know waste recycling is little not as good as circular economy, which is a little bit more comprehensive concept of how you arrange and organize your economy. So it is not as comprehensive, but I'm sure there would be a chapter on waste recycling. They keep adding new things, and this year I've not gone there. I was there in the last one, second one, fourth, third one, etc. So 3 IPCC reports have participated, but not this one. But I'm sure there is that. Yeah, you should see IPCC also depends on how much published work is there, because they are only restricted to published work. So unless a lot of, in fact, I would say degrowth or limited growth is also an option, because we don't want to keep increasing, we are more concerned of the equity and so on, and moderate growth is fine. Frankly, high growth is now not possible, in fact. So one has to reorganize the society and make sure everybody is better off. And certainly, billionaires and trillionaires, I don't know how they help and what they can do with their billions. They cannot even, he has to spend 56 million Bill Gates in 1 hour. That's a lot of burden on my head. I would not like to be carrying that burden, spending every hour 56 million. So anyway, so people should think differently, yes.
Thank you so much for that and making the time to answer one final question. I'm sure everyone's tired, and also we don't want to take too much of your time, Dr. Parikh, but we're so thankful. We will find a way to get everyone connected. We will find a way that we can get everyone from the audience and from speakers and speakers with speakers connected. So if anyone has any questions or any comments or want to collaborate and work together, we'll find a way to put you in touch, I'm sure.
Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
next year.